So that's a point that I want to make to your audience. People in prison, men in prison, if you respect them, they respect you back. And if you are courteous and considerate, they're the same way back. I met some of the greatest men I've ever known in prison. Much better men than sat next to me in FBI offices. You know,
wow. Hey, let me stop you, man. Say that again. You met some better men.
Better men in prison than some of the guys that I sat next to in FBI offices.
See, that's the thing, Bob. That's the one thing that I also want to do. I want to change society's perception of prisoners, because society thinks that everybody in prison, for the most part, are bad guys. They should be locked up, throw away the key. Obviously, that sentiment is changing now because people are starting to realize that there are good guys in there. But for a guy like you to go from where you worked at, the agency that you were at, to go into prison and meet some of these people and come out and say, man, look, I met some really good dudes in there, man. You know, that's a good message. People need to hear that.
And I'm trying to get it out, and I'm willing to talk to anybody about it. I'll stand in front of any forum they want me to, any conference. You know, look, the bottom line is the men that I met judged me for me, and likewise, I judged them for them. It wasn't about the 1 minute they lost their moral compass, because the reality is, if you do commit an offense, it's usually not for a long time. And most of us that got jammed up, most guys that got jammed up, they had already stopped their criminal activity years prior.
Yeah.
So, you know, the idea that everybody in there is some terrible person, it's just, you know, the people have to understand it's wrong. Look at me. I'm the lesson. I was a law enforcement officer of the year. I have trophies and credentials and accolades all over the place. Yet, in one instance, it was all gone, and I was incarcerated, and I became an inmate. In the blink of an eye, it can slip away. And I heard stories of guys that were driving tractors in a field and smashed into a car of teenagers that were trespassing, and they end up getting manslaughter charges. Or a guy who had a dead horse on his property and ended up getting 10 years. He took a 6-year deal and then had a heart attack and died in 2 years. A life sentence.
It's crazy.